Good evening. Good morning. Anyway, this is the second time I've done a voiceover, and they're always awkward because you're watching video that you took from earlier in the day, and you're trying to explain the day and whatnot, and I don't know, it's a bit awkward to do. You'll see if you ever do it. But anyways, so yes, the title is correct. I did get stuck for the first time ever in my career today and dug myself out. It took me an hour. It was very stupid. First thing in the morning, the left side, other than the side you're watching right now, I was able to track out on. I did not get stuck. I didn't even sink in the slightest. I didn't bury half a track, whatever. Later on the day, I went the other side of the pond, which is, you'll see it about the 10-minute mark. I'm scooping. There's like a little peninsula out in the middle of the pond. And I walk out there. I didn't use my mud mats because I thought it would be frozen enough because it's been, whatever Alaskan weather it's been for the fourth day in a row. And I walk out, try to grab that peninsula, and I do a couple scoops, and on like the fifth or whatever scoop, I feel something like pop or break free, and one side of the machine starts to go down. And immediately I'm like, I'm screwed. Whatever I'm in, I know it's deep, and I know I'm not going to get out. So anyways, behind me, I dug myself out. I dug a pit. The bucket actually went underneath the excavator to dig myself out and push myself out. And I was sweating for the first time today in a long time. And it was challenging to get out. And it was very, I should have had the mud mats. It was very stupid for me not to do that. But just, you go out there and you're not sinking immediately. You think, oh, okay, well, everything's fine. But the frost only went so deep, and after a few vibrations or whatever swings you want to call it, I got stuck. So that is a little bit embarrassing, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be that type of YouTube guy that just shows like all the good parts and this and that. Like, there's definitely bad days or mistakes you make on whatever job, even knowingly. And like I said, I know I should have had my mud mats out there, and I was just lazy and I didn't do it, and I paid for it. So, but that being said, getting myself out without needing another piece of equipment was a really great thing. I still got a bunch done today. I probably have about 2 more days of moving mud and laying it up. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm making the world's biggest cow pie, just constantly laying up this dredge or whatever you want to call it. But we're almost there, and then the pond ladder guy can come in and do his thing, and yeah. So don't be afraid to, post your failures or talk about your failures or anything either, because, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but it's how you handle it. Like, I could have gave up today. I could have called somebody to come get me out. I could have did any number of things, but the fact that you got to keep going and dig your way out, literally, figuratively, however you want to say it, it just kind of shows your character and how you work and all that stuff. You just can't give up, even if something goes wrong for the day. So don't be afraid to mess up or make mistakes, even if you've been doing things for a while. It's going to happen, man. Nobody's perfect. So if you do skip forward to the rest of the video, I think it's like the 10-minute mark, you'll see where that little peninsula is. But other than that, I turned down some of the sound, but it picks back up, and I actually do a little commentary in the last portion of the video. So, thank you everybody who's watching and following this project. And we'll continue to do a good job tomorrow. I got some internet guy or whatever coming to the house in the morning. You'll have heard about the whole house thing. Like, it's constant work on that. But, yep, thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next video. mud mats now. First time ever I got stuck. Right down in there. And I dug myself out all the way to there. So, I walked out on the other side this morning without any mud mats. Everything was fine. Alright, I get out on this side, walk out there, everything's good. I'm scooping, I'm not hearing anything crazy or seeing anything crazy. All of a sudden, there goes a pop. And I feel one track sink. And immediately my heart's like, oh, I'm absolutely screwed. So, how bad was it? I didn't get really a picture of it because I was, trying to get out of there before it got any worse. It took me about an hour to dig myself out. And, man, that was absolutely insane. That was, you never know how deep this stuff goes or how, like, out there in the middle, since I don't know how long this was a pond, but out there in the middle, it does not stop. I mean, the material or whatever this stuff is, it doesn't stop. And, yep, life lesson learned today on that. And it's icy and tracks are sliding everywhere. And, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep moving and just going to get this thing shaped up. I mean, just slowly but surely just keep shaping it up. There really is no other choice. I can't even bring a bigger excavator in here because they're septic. You can't fit it in between the houses. So, yeah, that's what happened to me today. That was crazy. I never been stuck before. But I dug myself out, and it was crazy because I dug myself out and I dug underneath of the excavator in the center and freed up both of my tracks. And I dug so far under myself, the bucket was underneath the excavator, and then I had to build up some dirt in the center of the excavator and then use the bucket to press underneath myself to get myself out. Because I had my smooth bucket on and I couldn't grip to pull myself out at all. It would not grip in anything. So, the lesson here was I should have been on my mud mats. I'm sitting here thinking because everything's frozen, but damn, when it breaks free, it breaks free. So, yeah. But hopefully that doesn't happen again today or any other day, but I'm going to keep filling this in and shaping up and try to forget that, and I'll be ready to go home and have a drink. That is for sure. So, every day is not going to be a good day, and I'm going to show my bad days just as much as I show my good days, and I don't have a whole lot of bad days, but they do happen. And I wouldn't say today is necessarily a bad day. I got out without any other piece of equipment when there was literally no hope in sight, it felt like. But, it's a mistake. I made a mistake, and it happens. It definitely happens. It's not my first mistake. It won't be my last mistake. I don't want to beat myself up about it because I will. Because I guess I'm trying to prove to myself that I can do a pond in the winter. And I think I can. I mean, I really do believe I'm going to shape all this up and it will be fine. But how I got there, that's the story. Try to walk out off of these mats just a little bit so I can back up. And the stuff being frozen, that doesn't help at all. Because you slide on things. Like now I'm like barely teeter-tottering on these mats. I'm using them to press though. Instead of, because part of what happened was, let's get this one closer. Part of what happened was it's so muddy and sticky down there. See, it's so much better to be on a mat. It's so muddy and sticky down there. What happened was you end up having nothing to press to. Like you're pressing on stuff, but it's just mud, you know. And the hills are ice, so that doesn't help. But you know, mud mats fell apart. Yeah, you all know what the deal is. You know what's going on. But that doesn't mean you quit. Doesn't mean you give up. You just got to keep going. And you can see how jello-y that is. That's crazy. I'm trying to get me some stuff up here. Without pulling myself off the mats. John. Without pulling myself off the jello. It's doable. It's doable, but we're gonna try to not slide in the pond and make any more mistakes. I'm gonna lay the rest of this stuff up today, and I'm gonna have to actually dig a path around that side just so my tracks aren't on the frost. I mean, that frost, you'll slide right into this pond and be the same way. And even up on the top side of that dam, it's the same thing. And so I track with my bucket like towards the pond, so I'm not, you know, sliding into it. But it's sketchy. It's I'm gonna dig a little shelf for me to track on instead of being on a slope. So I'm just digging my way every which way. Every which way you go, I'm digging. So. I hope everybody can maybe learn a little bit from this video. Learn a little bit from my stupidity. I'll watch this video when I'm 45 or 50 and think you dumbass. But that's the point, right? And the main thing is not giving up. I mean, that excavator, I could have like said, oh, you know, this is impossible. I can't do it, and I did it. And I think that goes a long way with anything. If you're the type to give up easily, or give up when the slightest thing doesn't go right, or even a big thing doesn't go right, you can either give up or you can dig deeper. And that's funny because I mean, I literally did have to dig deeper to get out of there. But you know what I mean. So I think this is going to be the end of the video. I'm going to work till probably 5, which is another hour and a half, and then I'm going to call it a day because it'll be dark, and I'll start back tomorrow. I'm going to keep laying this stuff up and get that part at least over with. Ready for the pond liner guy. So thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next video.